Hi everyone, welcome to Sanctuary Stretch. My name is Claire Marie B. We're going to get stuck into some gentle Pilates moves and stretches with some mindfulness techniques to help our bodies feel amazing and our minds to be focused and settled. So the movements that we're going to use today are based on Pilates, which is an exercise program. So please seek medical advice before participating, and also don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you get notifications for any new videos that Sanctuary Stretch can provide for you. So one of the main cues that you'll hear me say throughout today's class is to activate the T-zone. So that is referring to our deep core abdominals and our pelvic floor, which if you imagine drawing a capital T on your tummy, explains why it's called T-zone. So you're going to lift the pelvic floor up along that vertical line and then tighten between the two hip joints, and that's going to create some stability there right around the pelvis. So that's our T-zone. So just relax and then switch on your T-zone. Practice getting the hang of tightening those deep core abdominal muscles. And then take your awareness a little higher to your shoulders and just try to drop the shoulders down in a V shape. So you want to pull the shoulders away from the ears, creating space here and activating those muscles in the center of your back that just inch the bottoms of your shoulder blades together. We spend so much time slumped forward that it puts all of the strain of our head and the weight of our head on the tops of our traps. So we want to take them wide so that we're dispersing, bringing the ears back so all that weight can be carried over our strong shoulder girdle and then centered right over the pelvis, which has got that stability now that we know how to activate our T-zone. Remember to tuck your chin just slightly, so you have that nice long back of the neck. So these are our perfect posture. This is what we're aiming for. And the more time that we spend reinforcing these postural points, the more that it'll become our default setting so that we won't go back into that bad habit of slumping, pushing the shoulders forward, jutting out the chin. So let's get started. You can close your eyes so that you can really focus on the moment. Just let anything that was before this class and anything that's to come afterwards stay out of your thoughts. Right now you can be focused on you. We're going to bend, breathe and believe. So taking some nice deep breaths to start with, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Good, and then as you inhale, you're going to switch on that pelvic floor and that T-zone, and the shoulders are going to be active down and back, and the chin tucks. So inhale, we're going to switch on those three postural points, and on the exhale, out through the mouth, tightening all the muscles around the spine, and exhaling, squeezing the lungs empty. So you want the ribs to press down so you get that activation of the upper abdominals as well. So just reinforce that cyclic breath a few times. You're going to inhale, switch everything on, and exhale, reinforce, tightening, tightening. Shoulders down, beautiful. And then just begin to get an awareness of your breath. Awareness of that control over your posture, feeling tall in your spine, centered and focused, and then become aware of the present moment. So begin to feel gravity pressing you down onto the mat, and you can feel the stability of the ground supporting you. Hear the sounds around you. Might be a car that drives past, or a bird, or a dog barking. It's normal to experience distractions, and we can't have perfect silence. It's very rare. So it's okay to have those noises. Just hear them and then let them go, and come back to your three postural corrections. T-zone on, shoulders down and back, chin tucked, and being focused and present on the moment using your breath. And then take your attention just beyond the physical and reach towards your faith, reaching out for your Heavenly Father, for your Saviour, and contemplating today's scripture. It's from Hebrews 2:18, and it says, "For since Christ himself has been through suffering and temptation. He knows what it's like when we suffer and are tempted, and He is wonderfully able to help us. So just try to soak up that idea of help from your Saviour when you're going through suffering and temptation, knowing He knows how to handle it and He's willing to help you. And when you feel nice and centered and focused on your faith, start to set your intentions for this class to nurture the temple that houses that intimate, private relationship that you have with God. And then you can open your eyes and we're going to go into some shoulder stretches. So just start by bringing one arm across the body and just pulling it towards you. You can let that hand go limp and drop the shoulder down away from the ears. And then just change the direction of that stretch as you drive the hand up over the opposite shoulder, dropping the shoulder down. Feel the stretch as you press your elbow into your hand. You can activate some of those rotator cuff muscles in the stretch and really focus on how the stretch feels. Enjoy every moment of it. Remember to stay connected to your breath. Taking the other arm up, same arm up, towards your fingertips towards your spine and the elbow towards your ear, and try not to hunch your chin down. Try to keep that nice long neck. Remember that you can only go to where you can go to start gently. If you're not able to reach high into your stretch, then just go to where you can. Use your breath to soften and encourage your body rather than trying to force it to somewhere that's beyond your level yet. Let's do the other side. So we're bringing the other arm across the body. Remember to stay connected to your breath and enjoy feeling the stretch right through the back of the shoulder. Change the direction of that stretch as you push the hand up over the shoulder here and bring the elbow down. Good, and then reaching up, taking the fingertips to the spine and pulling the elbow in towards the ear, feeling that nice tricep stretch right down the outside of the arm. Good, and then taking both arms around into the small of the back. We're going to wing out the chest. Breathing, exhaling out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay. That feels great. Okay, take the legs out in front. Now we're going to go into an armchair stretch. So you want your knees bent and your feet together, and you're just going to reach through underneath the legs here and tilt the pelvis backwards, tuck the chin to the chest, and use the full extension of your arms to pull the shoulder blades apart so you feel that stretch right into the center of your back. And just take a few breaths here. Good, then tilting the pelvis forward, coming up nice and tall. Little neck stretch, so just dropping the ear to one shoulder and then gently lift the head and take the ear to the other shoulder. Staying in your breath. Lovely. Then taking the legs out long, we're going to go into a piriformis stretch. So just lifting one foot, putting it on the outside of the knee and rotating in towards that bent leg. You want to feel the stretch into the glute and into the lower back, and try to look behind so that you get that full rotation of the spine. We're trying to create mobility in all of our joints. So remember, start slow, start where you can. If you can't get your foot on the other side of your knee, you can bring it just up to wherever you can, and you'll get the same idea of the stretch. And let's do the other side. So bringing that foot over and twisting right around the other way. And back around. Let's take the feet and fold them around to one side, going into mermaid stretch now. So you want to place the sole of your foot into your thigh, And the feet are pointing one direction. That's the way that we want to go. So if you can't reach to put your hand flat down on the mat, you can actually grab on to the shin bone, and that gives you a little bit of stability. One sit bone will be lifted slightly and the other one pressed down into the floor, and that's the one we want to stretch. So we're going to take the arm all the way up, stretching from the shoulder right to the hip, and then take a little inhale. Lift the chin upwards and the chest upwards. No tension in the neck though. And then a nice long exhale as we reach over into the stretch. Now if you're already feeling the stretch here and you can't get any further, that's fine. Go to where you feel comfortable, but remember, the neck doesn't help with this, so no tension there, and reach through. Beautiful. Let's do the other side. So just swing your feet right around to the other side. Same idea, sole of the foot into the thigh and putting the hands down in the same direction as our feet and reaching up long. Inhale, tilt the chest upwards. Exhale, reach and soften. Really feeling where you feel the stretch, noticing where your body grabs, and then using your breath to soften and encourage your body into that stretch. Remember, everybody has different strengths and flexibilities, so it's not a competitive sport. Just listen to your own body and let it guide you as to gradually increasing your flexibility. All right, coming into worship pose, we're going to sit cross-legged, switch on those postural points, and then extend the arms long. So we really want to make sure the shoulders are down away from the ears, and we're reaching up through our fingertips, palms up. And you can close your eyes and lift your chin slightly, facing heaven and thinking of something worthy of praise. Take some nice gentle breaths. Feel the warmth of your gratitude in your chest begin to work its way up your arms. You may even notice that tingle in the fingertips. So just enjoy the sensations in your body. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose, and on the exhale, slowly lower the arms. Feeling that gentle rush of the circulation, knowing that everything's working how it's meant to. We're just going to settle the nervous system with these stretches, and we've done that. So let's get into some moves now. We're going to come down onto the mat, going into crook position, and start to strengthen our abdominal muscles. So we want to warm everything up first. So make sure the shoulders are down, tucked under the rib cage. Your feet, knees and hips are all in a straight line, and you have that natural arch in your lower back. This is neutral spine, nice flat pelvis, palms down by your sides. We're going to start with a bent knee fall out. So as you inhale, you're going to lift the pelvic floor and tighten the tummy and lower one knee out. And then on the exhale, bringing that same leg back upwards. Alternating legs. Inhale, tighten the tummy, lower the leg. Exhale, bring it back up. Inhale and tighten, lower, exhale, coming back up. What we're looking for here is that we have control over our hips with those T-zone muscles switched on and in control, so that as we lower the leg, that stabilizing leg stays nice and still, and we're not splaying the hips, which is where the hips become loose and they just fall open. We want to actually imagine that the air is thick and that we're pressing the leg into the air and using the tummy to control and bring the leg back up. Inhale, other side, T-zone on, exhale, back up. Just do a couple of those until you really feel that you've got control over your core and you're using your breath correctly. Wonderful. Okay, let's go into a single leg circle. So staying in our neutral spine, making sure the shoulders are down and back, we're going to take one leg out long and just turn the foot out at the hip joint. Inhale, tighten the tummy as you lower the leg, and then exhale, bring it around in a small circle and back up. Inhale to lower, exhale, bring it around. You can start small if you're feeling the hips starting to wobble, and if you want a challenge, you can make the circle a little bigger, but that stabilizing leg should be nice and still. Let's swap sides and do 3 circles on the other side. Extending the leg out, keeping the spine neutral. Inhale, tighten the tummy as we lower. Exhale, bring it around and back up. Use that breath correctly. And remember to use the muscles properly so that you have control over the hips as you swing the leg out. And resting down. We're going to warm up the shoulders now. So taking the arms up into Superman pose, really inching the shoulder blades back and together so they're nice and secure, keeping the shoulder girdle in place. We're going to start to take the hands slowly overhead, paying attention to the ribs here. We don't want them to pop. Popping is where the back starts to arch and the ribs lift up. So really need to activate those upper abdominals just beneath the sternum. Empty the lungs completely and you'll feel the control here. And then take the arms slowly, slowly all the way overhead. Little inhales only, just enough to reset your core until you can feel your fingertips touching the floor behind you. And then exhale, softening the shoulders. Just increasing your range of movement here in the arms. And you can bring the hands together, just touching the fingers to each other. Feeling that nice stretch. Good, and then activate all of the muscle fibers in your arms as you start to press the sky up, bringing the hands back up, slowly, 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 feeling how heavy gravity is if you really focus on it. And back up to Superman pose. You can take your hands down by your sides. Okay, let's get the abdominals really working now. So we're going to come up into tabletop. So you're going to imprint your spine. Bend the knees at 90 degrees, so your shins are parallel to the floor and your knees are directly above the hips. Press your hands into your knees. Now, you can challenge yourself depending on how hard you press. The idea is that you press your spine down into the mat using those abdominal muscles. As you inhale, you're going to switch on the pelvic floor and the T-zone. And on the exhale, feel it tightening like a corset all the way around the abdominals, emptying the lungs. It's like a cyclic breath. So as you inhale, you're switching on the T-zone, and as you exhale, you're tightening and gaining control. So think inhale, activate, exhale, execute. Good, then take the hands down and we're going to go into some toe taps. So just lowering the foot and exhaling as you tap. The idea is that you don't want to lift the spine even a little bit off the mat. Really press it down and challenge yourself. So you can make it a little easier if you tap your feet a little closer to the booty, or you can really challenge yourself to take the feet further away. Again, making sure the lower back is staying down and that your core is engaged the whole time. Couple more here. And resting down. We should feel nice and warm in our lower abdominals. You can keep doing a few more sets of those if you feel able to and you want to challenge yourself. They're a great way to really strengthen your TA, which is your transverse abdominis, that deep core abdominals that we're really working on today. Next, we're going to add in an abdominal curl. So you're going to take your hands back up into Superman pose, come back to neutral spine, feet, knees and hips are all in alignment like train tracks, and your shoulders down away from the ears. As you curl up, you're going to make sure that you exhale, make sure the T-zone's correct and switched on beforehand, and make sure that your chin isn't tucking towards your chest. You want to keep the eyes on the knees and scoop through the abdominals rather than letting them bulge up towards the ceiling. Inhale, tighten, exhale, curl up. Inhale, tighten, exhale. So really have your control here. Think of squeezing the hips towards the ribs together like an accordion, folding up and then extending out. Ribs are pulling down. And you can reach down past the thighs, making sure that you're not flexing the upper body. You do not want to tuck your chin towards your chest. Make the abdominals do the work. We're going to do 3 more. If this is too easy for you, you can always do them in tabletop. And resting down. All right, let's do some pendulums now just to warm up and work the oblique muscles. So taking the hands a little wider on the mat, just so that you've got a bit more stability for your upper body. We're going to bring the legs up into tabletop and squeeze the knees together until they're touching. And then just inhale, tighten your tummy and swing the legs over to one side using your exhale for control. Inhale and tighten, reset, exhale. You can actually rock the whole pelvis, and that will really challenge those oblique muscles here. But go slowly. Have that smooth control that we're looking for. It doesn't matter if you do 20 of these incorrectly. It matters if you do 2 correctly. And resting down. So you should feel nice and warm here. We're going to stretch out. So swing the legs all the way over to one side and open the hand out and looking in the direction of our hand. Using this hand to place on the knees really helps create more stretch there into the lower back and into the glutes. And then keeping the feet on the ground, we're going to swing the knees all the way around to the other side. Extending out the other arm. Dropping the shoulder blades down onto the mat if we can. And softening. Using our breath. Breathing deeply. Feels really good. And swinging the knees back up. All right, so if you have a strap, you can use it. I believe I have one here. This is going to be our hamstring stretch. So just placing our foot into the band and bringing that leg up nice and long. You want to make sure that you've got your knee straight, not overextended, hyperextended, and not bent, so that you can really feel the stretch in the back of the hamstrings. So then you can straighten out and lengthen the other leg. You'll feel a little bit of resistance perhaps in the inner thighs, so use your breath to soften there first. You really want to encourage your body to get to the place of flexibility on its own in an encouraging way, rather than trying to force it and causing the muscles to spasm to try to protect you, because that's why they're tight. They get tight to protect the joints and from lack of use. So you can pull on this strap and create a little bit more stretch, and then start to draw the toes back towards the shins and press the heel away, and you should really feel it start to intensify. Remember to be gentle with your body and stay connected to your breath. Breathing deeply. You can do a little rotate of that foot, or swing the leg from one side of the body to the other, just gently, because then you can activate all the different hamstrings in this stretch. And to purchase a little bit of space in the back of the hamstring, you can bend the knee, give a little toe kick and press the heel away. And that just helps to buy space in the back of the muscle here. So inhale, bend the knee, and little toe kick and extend out. You should be able to see that I can buy a little more flexibility here by using that bent knee toe kick action. And bring up the bottom leg and swap sides. Extending out long, that long leg, bringing the toes back towards the shins and pressing the heel away. You should really feel that stretch. Fight for your flexibility, but do it gently, working with your body, not against it. Remember to do that little rotate, a little movement of the leg from side to side. Really feel it, enjoy the stretch. You can even bend the knee, do a couple of little toe kicks, and extend that hamstring a little more. Good, and then bring up the bottom leg, and you can put your strap to one side. Okay, coming over onto our side, we're going to work our inner thighs a little bit. So I don't want you guys resting your head on your hand like I am. You can take that head nice and long with the arm long and the head down, just so that you're not lifting up your neck. We're going to extend this bottom leg, and the top leg is just here for support. And if you're not comfortable there, you can always place a yoga block or something underneath the knee to give you a little bit more range of movement in the hips there so that you can lift this leg. So we want that leg nice, locked and strong from the knee right through to the ankle. And we're going to use the inner thigh to lower the leg and lift, and lower and lift. And I want you to do it really slowly, not jerking. We don't want to just lift and then drop. Try not to fall through gravity as you lower. Try to keep your focus here on the inner thigh and keep it engaged the whole time, even as you're lowering, so that you're not going to connect with the floor in between. I like to imagine a paintbrush in my toes painting a fence, because we want that fine motor control. We want all the little muscles around the strong muscles to work together to create that smooth movement, lifting and lowering. And then holding the leg up, begin to do some circles from the hip. And use your exhale of your breath. Remember, that's your best weapon. Try to make the circles smooth, not jerky. Start slow and small. And as you want to challenge these inner thigh muscles, you can make the circles bigger. And then holding up, see if you can get that shake, which is the nervous system recruiting more muscle fibers. And resting down. Ooh, yeah, should be able to feel that. Bring that top knee back, and we're going to grab onto the ankle and go into a quad stretch. So I'm just pulling my ankle towards my booty, my heel, and just pressing the knee back away from the center line of the body, and really feeling that stretch right down the front of my leg here. Good. And then we're going to bring the knees all the way up into 90-degree position so that our shins are parallel with the front of the mat, and press that hip down and forward so that we have a position where we're not collapsed into our waist and our hips are stacked one on top of the other, but that top hip is forward. And then using our control of our T-zone, we're going to keep that hip bone in place so that as we lift our leg, we aren't opening the hips. There shouldn't be any movement in the rest of the body except the legs. So inhale, tighten your tummy, push that hip down and forward, and lift and lower. Use your exhale as you lift, and think of squeezing right here. Sometimes this muscle's really hard to activate, so you might want to give it a smack to wake it up. It helps bring our focus and our attention here so that we can make sure that we've got control over this muscle and that this movement is being controlled by the right muscles, the glute medius and minimus here. Using your exhale. Good. Now let's hold for 2, 3, and lower. Inhale, tighten the tummy. Hold, 2, 3. Use that core control to keep the rest of the body stable. And hold, 2, 3. We're going to do 5 quick pulses. So lower and lift, and 2, and 3. Remember not to let to rock open. And last one. And then holding here, we're going to do a knee-to-knee little kiss, and then a toe-to-toe kiss. And knee-to-knee, coming back up to that lifted position and drop. I know it's burning. That's what we want. Push that hip down and forward so that you're really working here. And resting down. Give it a little rub. Give it a smack. Knock out any lactic acid that we don't want building up there. We don't want to have you sore. Let's stretch that muscle out. So rolling onto our back, you're going to go into a figure 4 stretch, bringing the same leg's ankle up onto the opposite knee and reaching through the gap. Pressing that elbow here pushes this knee out, and then flexing these toes back helps to protect the knee. Reaching through under the thigh. Now, if you're having trouble reaching here, you can always use your strap. Just double it over, feed it through underneath the thigh, and that can give you a little bit more control to grab and intensify the stretch. And you can even just rock the pelvis a little bit to one side, and you'll really feel it in that sweet spot right where we were working. Beautiful. Okay, let's swap and do the other side. All right, all the way over to the other side now. Remembering to stretch your arm out long so that you're not putting any strain on your neck. You can rest your head down. And we're going to bring that top leg forward, anchoring it on the floor and lifting our inner thigh. So really working these inner thighs requires focus. So remember to focus. Once you've got these moves down, you can play your own favorite worship music and just do them anytime you like. Really focusing on your faith and really focusing on your body and how it feels. Staying connected to your breath. These are all the functions of Sanctuary Stretch in a nutshell. So it's more about you enjoying it than it being a taskmaster and doing something that's unpleasant. So remember, we don't want to rest on the floor in between. We really want to try to keep that muscle engaged as we lower. Again, having that paintbrush idea at the end of our foot, lifting and lowering, using our breath. Use that exhale for control. Try not to fall through the air as you lower. Fine motor control, that's what we want. And holding up, let's circle it out. And really start smooth and slow. You might notice that your moves feel a bit jerky, and that's because those little muscles either side of your stronger muscle, of the adductor muscle, the muscles either side are fine, and they tend to be a bit hard to activate, and they're a bit lazy because we don't do anything to work them in our day-to-day life. So that's fine, you're supposed to get that shake. Change direction, let's do the other side. So circling in the opposite way, using that exhale out the mouth on the top part of the circle. Smooth and slow. Good, and then lifting the whole leg up, up, up to the sky. And resting down. You should really feel it there in the inner thigh. We're going to stretch out this top quad muscle, so bringing the foot back towards the booty. You're going to press that knee back. You can also use your strap here if you're having trouble. Just simply wrap the strap around the ankle and use it to help you get that flexibility into your muscles. Remember to go to where you feel the resistance and then use your breath to soften so that the resistance lets go, and then you can increase it a little more. Good, and resting down. Bringing the knees up to that 90-degree position. We're gonna burn this booty as well since we get the other one going before. You wanna push that hip down and forward, 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 so the top knee's overlapping the bottom one. Inhale, tighten your tummy so that that hip bone stays in place, and as you lift the leg, you don't get that rolling back. You really want that hip in that forward and down position. Okay, let's go. Exhale as you lift. Inhale down. Remember, you can give a smack here. You might feel that the bottom butt cheek is trying to work, and that's because it's already been warmed up. So just use your awareness to switch it off, let it soften, and change where you're working to be right here. And lift. And lift. Remembering we want that core on. Good. And this time we're going to hold 2, 3, and down. And lift. Hold 2, 3. Good. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, 3. Good. And hold 2, 3. We should be feeling warm here now. We're going to do 5 quick pulses. Lower and lift. 2, 3. Core on. 4 and 5. Nice and warm. Knee to knee up and toe to toe up. Little kisses. Mwah. Mwah. You should be really feeling it right here where we want to, using the whole weight of the leg to strengthen these muscles. And last one. And resting down. Oh yeah. Feel it there. Give it a rub and let's stretch it out. So rolling onto your back. Bringing that ankle up and reaching through the gap. Flex the toes back, just protecting the knee, and draw that bottom thigh towards you. Breathe deeply. Let your chest just soften here. Use your breath and just a little rock of the pelvis towards that lifted foot, and you'll really feel it hitting the sweet spot right where you were working before. Beautiful, and resting down. We're going to come all the way over onto our hands and knees now. So we've got our hands directly underneath our shoulders and our knees directly underneath our hips, and we're going to switch on that core, as I said, so that as we extend one leg out long, we're not lifting the hip and we're not rocking through the middle of the back. So finding that position, make sure we're nice and square, 4-point kneeling. Inhale, tighten the tummy and bring the knee to the chest. Exhale, extend out long. Inhale. Exhale. You want that cherry shape happening in the booty as you extend and drive that leg out. We're going to go 3 more. Keeping our eyes on the mat is a good way to protect the neck. And this time we're going to bend the knee and press the foot up towards the ceiling in little pulses. So just going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Let's swap sides. Inhale, knee to the chest. Exhale, extend out long. Tummy is on. Inhale, tighten. Exhale, extend. Keeping the hips square, really squeezing into the booty, feeling it work, feeling that apple shape. And last one, extending out. We're going to bend the knee and press those little heel pulses up into the booty, working 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and resting down. Let's go into a cat stretch. So we're going to round out the spine, tuck the chin all the way under. Feel all the gaps being formed in between the vertebrae of your back. And then tilt the other way. So you're going to press the booty out, press the tummy down towards the floor, lift your chin and chest, keeping the shoulders back away from the ears. Good, and then round out, go the other way again. And back. Nice cat stretch. And then pushing the booty all the way down to the heels. We're going to go into prayer stretch. So walking those hands out long, resting the forehead down on the mat. Just breathe deeply here. Breathing into your belly and your lower back, letting yourself soften. You can widen the knees so you get a little bit more room. Good, and then walking the hands up, all the way up, and finishing there. You can now lay down on your mat or find somewhere quiet where you can participate in one of the relaxation videos. So we've got a couple on our Sanctuary Stretch YouTube channel that you can choose from. So pick one of those and you'll find that it's much easier to be mindful and to meditate once we've focused on our body and used movement to settle our nervous system. I hope you enjoyed this Sanctuary Stretch snippet. Make sure you come back often and keep bending, breathing and believing. See you next time.